Good evening, people. How are we doing? I hope you're all right. Welcome back to another Mixing Live on Wednesdays. So this is a new series that I decided to start quite impromptuously, improvised it last week. And I thought, right, why don't I do two things at once? I can mix some music for the channel and I can get some live streams out and hopefully show you guys what I'm doing behind the scenes when I'm mixing music. Right, this is going to be every Wednesday, like I said, from 7 p.m. UK time for the foreseeable future, at least. That's 2 p.m. EST time, I believe. We're going to be mixing a variety of tracks, some acoustic artists and some music for the channel. Some of my own music as well. That's not to showcase my own music, but it's just for copyright reasons. It's a lot easier to do that because I don't get copyright strikes and so on. I hope all that makes sense. So this week we are featuring a brilliant artist from London called Jesse Smith. I've known Jesse from the London rock music scene, and he is a phenomenal talent. You are in for a treat. He's a wonderful singer, great guitar player, and I had him in my studio to demonstrate a couple of items in videos coming up, and they are the Austrian Audio OC818 condenser microphone. This microphone does everything, and it does things that you can't imagine, including the fact that you can change the polar pattern and you can control it via Bluetooth. It's got to be one of a kind, and the first of its kind that is coming soon. Second of all, we have the Black Lion Audio Revolution 2x2 audio interface. Now, there's mixed reviews about this, and I have to be honest, I have mixed opinions about it as well. It doesn't do very much, but it sounds very good, as you're about to hear in the examples in this video, because this audio interface is what I use to record Jesse in the studio. And there he is playing there with my nice new drum kit in the... it's not my drum kit, but a nice drum kit in the background. And that's the mic setup we had there. All right. Marlon's in the house. Hey, buddy. Everyone go and check out Marlon at White Noise Studios. Marlon is the plugin master, plugin review and tutorial master. Speaking of plugins, in this week's video, I'm going to be featuring the FabFilter Timeless Tape Delay plugin, which is new from FabFilter. I've had a brief play with it, and we're going to find out what it's like in the live stream. There's a link for that in the description below from Sweetwater for anyone in the States. Well, anyway, because it's a plugin, you don't need delivery, do you? Excellent. Right, so in this live stream, I have a new feature for you if you would like to support the channel. Now, I don't use Patreon or I don't take PayPal donations. I can't quite decide how I feel about those, but YouTube is a lot of work. So if you would like to support the channel in some small financial way, you can with super chats and super stickers. I believe there's a button at the bottom of the chat. I'm not sure where it is on mobile, but I know it's there on desktop. If you'd like to contribute, I'd be really grateful. But if not, no worries. Let's get on with the show. So, like I said, a live stream today. We've just got two microphones, acoustic guitar and vocals. So it's a bit of a challenge because they're both condenser mics recorded in the same room at the same time, miking up two different sources, but obviously they're picking up each other, as you can see in the Jesse video there. So what I want you to do throughout the live stream is ask any questions you have. I've got so many screens in front of me right now, but I have a fourth screen with YouTube on, so I can see your questions and your comments and statements and so on. Feel free to make suggestions as well. I'm definitely not too arrogant to think that I can't learn something from every single one of you. That's why we're all here to learn. Fantastic. So ask away with your questions, and let's dive into Logic. All right. Hopefully these levels are all going to be okay and you can hear everything all right. So what we've got here is two channels, vocals on the top and guitars here. They were recorded, like I said, through the Black Lion audio interface. Now, there's two issues with this that are potentially problematic. One is the use of recording two condenser microphones at the same time. So as you can see here on one of the channels, I put a gain plugin. This is not to capture more gain. As you can see, we've got quite a bit of gain going on there already. And this is basically a phase invert. So let's have a listen to the track with and without the phase invert. Now, the song is very dynamic, as you can see. It starts off quite quiet and close and intimate vocally, and then it gets quite loud at the end. So normally if I was tracking in the studio or tracking my own stuff... oh, Marlon, amazing. Sorry, Marlon's just made a super chat. Marlon, you're a legend. Thank you. I will no doubt return the favour on one of your live shows. So normally if I was in the studio, I would track verses and then choruses and then whatever sections separately to tweak the gain, and also so I can have the same compression settings for each section. I'm not going to do this here because I don't want to split the audio up. I could do it with the vocals because there is a gap here. However, I'm just going to keep it organic, keep it simple, keep it easy, free and easy, and away we go. The second thing to bear in mind, like I said, is that it's very dynamic. So this is going to affect the compressor settings and maybe the EQ settings. So I'm going to have to play it safe, and basically I'm going to listen to this bit most often. That's the primary volume, I guess, and then we'll have to listen to the end here just because there's a couple of spikes just to gauge the compression so we don't get that horrible reduction that is all too obvious sometimes. Right, so let's have a listen to the track on its own. Tell you what, I'll bring in each microphone as we go, and then we'll flip the phase just to check that the phase alignment between the two microphones, which is obviously, the guitar mic's obviously picking up the guitar first and then the vocals late, and the vocal mic is picking up the vocals first and then the guitar mic later. So let's make sure that they're in phase. Here are the vocals. Obviously there's bleeding in both, like I said.
Never want to be anywhere other than lost in the woods.
And bringing in the acoustic.
Cause I never tasted anything sweeter than you.
So that sounds quite full. So already I'm thinking that is in phase. Now I do know it's in phase because I did check on the session. But let's invert the phase of the vocals. So if the phase wasn't in line, there's going to be a reduction in frequencies as they cancel each other out, or there's going to be a boost in the low end as the cancelling frequencies uncancel each other.
I never want to get clean again because I'm drunk on your eyes. I'll be wasted forever.
So that tells me that everything is beautifully in phase. Nice. So we can get rid of that plugin because people in the video might ask questions and they've missed this section if they tune in later. 9 people are watching. Welcome, guys. Welcome to my second live stream. Right, so I'm going to go for the acoustic guitar first because that's going to be the foundation of the song. Let's solo that. And the first thing I'm going to do is pull up a dynamic EQ. I don't think I need to do too much. These are really wonderful microphones, these Austrian Audio OC818s. But I'm going to go for the FabFilter Pro Q3. This is a delightful plugin. Now, as a duty of course, I'm going to put on a high-pass filter, just because that's generally good practice. A low cut like that. Oh, that's a far too high a ratio. Let's go for something quite steep. Yep, that'll do. So we don't want too much of the low end because in the studio I've got planes going overhead and trucks going past on the road. So I want to filter out any low end rumble. That's why I'm putting a high pass filter, on everything. Let's listen to the guitars.
Something wicked about you, baby. Look in your eyes today.
So I'm wanting a little bit more top end here. Let's go for a wider curve. Now, we'll have to be careful of that when we listen with the vocals, but there were some low mids that I wasn't too happy with. They were clashing with the vocals a bit. So one of the beauties of the FabFilter EQ is using it as a dynamic EQ. Let's just get that out of my way on the screen. There we go. All right, so with a dynamic EQ, I can set the EQ to only duck when certain frequencies are prominent versus a linear EQ, which would permanently reduce those frequencies. So throughout the course of the song, certain chords will cause the guitar to resonate in different ways and produce prominent frequency more on some chords than others. So on the chords that aren't producing any prominent frequencies, we can leave it because we don't want to thin the sound out unnecessarily. But when there are prominent frequencies, we can get rid of them using this outer red ring here on the FabFilter. That ducks it. Let's do it a couple of dB. And obviously we have to compare with and without. Not sure what I've done there.
Never thought it was possible that you would leave me there, alone in a bedroom like a lost soul doing bus tours and running alone. 6 years.
All right, so I don't think this needs too much doing to it. The acoustic sounds great. Jesse's played it really well, and it's a good sounding guitar. And the microphone is wonderful. Drew, welcome to the house, my friend. Drew's tuning in from Cyprus. Right, let's add some compression because I want to control some of these transients a little bit. My go-to is the Universal Audio. Which one is it? It's the 1176, but I like the purple one. No idea why. I just think it has a nice sound to it. And I'm going to go... I don't want to go too heavy on the attack here. So what I'm going to do is put two compressors on. The the 1176 first to catch the peak transients, and then the LA2A compressor, which is a slower opto compressor. I won't get into what an optical compressor is, but there are various reasons that's a slower compressor to react. And that is going to smooth out the transients after this one's caught the peak transients.
Heat and the passion, thick tears, a whole lot of magic, but I'd rather be broken by you than be fixed on my own. Something wicked about you, baby. Look in your eyes today. It says that you'll always turn me on. Have your
Nice. So for those of you who haven't used an 1176, how that's working is we've got the input gain here, which is basically how much we're driving into the compressor. We've then got our mix dial here, which is how much of this is coming into the mix. I think this is a feature. I don't know if this is a native to the plugin feature or if it is on this particular hardware unit or not. I know it's on some, but not all of them. And headroom is just how much headroom the compressor's got before it decides to make noise. So then we've got the output, and that's how much gain is going to the next thing in line. So whether that's the output or the other compressor. Now this is important with an LA2A style compressor because an LA2A style compressor doesn't have an input gain. So it's relying on a line level loud signal coming into the compressor to then do its job and compressing the signal. So the reason you would go 1176 first and then LA2A is for this exact reason, that the LA2A doesn't have an input gain. It does have an output gain, which really does affect the sound. Now let's just go for the standard one here. Let's put that up there. So as you can see there, it's not really doing much, the LA2A, other than it's just increased the volume a fair bit. Let me know if any of these levels get too loud if you're watching. I'm gauging the volumes on my headphones, which should be what you're getting, but who knows, with the internet, strange things can happen. And with OBS. So as you can see there, nothing was really happening with the LA2A. That's because I need to push the output. So we're coming up to a reasonably loud section, which is a good place to test this.
I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette, beauty in your gaze, something wicked about you, babe.
Now, obviously, there are vocals coming through this acoustic guitar channel as well. If anyone's just joined, I've recorded this, Jesse, in the same room with both microphones live. So there's more guitar in this one, but you know, the mic was only an extra foot away from his mouth. So there are vocals in both mics, and there are guitars in both mics as well. So I've got to find a balance, and hopefully without anything phasing, which could be interesting, and which is partly why I'm trying to minimize how much EQ I'm doing. So there is a sound to the LA2A, which I like, and I think Universal Audio really capture it quite well with this plugin. All right, what else do we need on the acoustic guitars? That'll do for now. That's a good bass. I'm going to go in and go for a slight reverb of some kind, I think. Let's set that. So I'm setting up a bus send here, and I'm going to label my auxiliary, which is the bus. Guitar reverb, that's my short northern slang. And let's add in where are we? Let's go for I'm going to go for a plate. Let's get the EMT 140. Now, there's probably a half decent preset, which I will probably move away from. Now, let's freelance it. So I'm just going to take the pre-delay up a little bit. Full wet that mix. Not too long for the acoustic. High pass filter to about there. What I would usually do actually with reverbs is just EQ the whole channel. So why don't we just do that? It's important to EQ your effects, because what I don't want, although there's not too many low frequencies going around, or Jesse's not projecting too many low frequencies, and the guitar's not projecting too many. What I don't want to do is amplify with the reverb any other noise that's been captured and just have a big swirling mess of rubbish going on. So we're going to EQ the guitar reverb. I might do the top just a little bit there. Let's have a listen to that. I'll dial that in. All right, so I want a shorter reverb than that. Pre-delay is fine. I guess that's about 20 milliseconds, 25.
There's something wicked about you, baby. The look in your eyes today.
Yeah, nice. Just a little bit, kind of more felt than heard with that reverb. What I'm also going to do is add in a parallel compression send. It's aux 2. Let's call that guitar, and I just do 2 slashes for parallel. And what I'm going to do here is compress the life out of this. Now, I'm definitely going to EQ this as well, because I don't want the low end to hit the compressor, and I don't want the high end in there, because that's going to create loads of sibilance when that is squashed and maximized by the compressor. And I'm going to go for... Oh no, why don't we go for the Distressor Empirical Labs? And I'm sure there's a wonderful preset again. I only use presets as a guide. I don't use them for, I don't use them, just use them and then leave them. I obviously use my ears to dial them in, but sometimes they have some interesting ideas or combinations of settings that I wouldn't normally go for myself. Let's try tight guitar. What does that sound like? Let's solo the parallel send. All right, now usually I would put the reverb. Usually I'd put the EQ first before the compressor, so the compressor's only compressing the frequencies I want to boost. However, I do always check and experiment with which way round those go, because this can create some interesting results. So I actually like it after, which is cool. But I'm going to just take that back a bit and that up a bit, because I think that was too much. Now you might be thinking, oh Ed, it sounds better without the EQ. You'd be right, but when we blend this in to the full signal, this is only going to be quite low in the mix. And normally what I'll do with this is automate this for the chorus and the big sections, just to give the chorus a bit of a lift. I'm probably not going to get around to that in this show, but for the final product, I will probably automate them. So let's dial this in. Something wicked about you, baby. Look in your eyes today. It says that you know you'll always turn me on. Have your wicked ways. Something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. Stones here in your silhouette. In your gaze. Something wicked about you, baby. All right, just a little bit of that. So it's more felt again than heard. I don't want to go over the top with this. So if you have any suggestions for the acoustic, what would you guys do to the acoustic guitar from here? I may dabble with a delay as well, but because Jesse's playing on his own, he's playing quite a lot rhythmically, so I think a delay is just going to get in the way. And I kind of want to keep the delay for the vocals, and for the delay, we're going to try the new FabFilter plugin. Leandro, hey, my man, tuning in from Madagascar, Leandro, is unbelievable. And David's here. David, you are a beautiful man. Thank you very much for the super chat donation. I think that's going to go towards buying me a chair for the studio, because I'm on a drum stool and I've been sat here since 9 a.m. and it's getting uncomfortable. Anyway, moving on, let's do some vocals. So what do you guys think of Jesse? Jesse's just such a good singer for me. He's so easy to work with as well. Such a nice guy, and he's so easy to mix.
There's a whole lot of magic, but I'd rather be broke.
Now, obviously, we've boosted the guitar with some compression and a parallel send, so the vocals are going to need some boosting as well at some point. So the problem with the vocals is, like I said earlier, it's really dynamic. So we've got this quieter section here, and it gets really loud. So that's going to be an issue when we get to compression, but let's worry about that in a minute. I'm going to set up a loop, and I'm going to go for dynamic EQ again. I don't think I'm going to need to do much with this again, because Jesse really knows what frequencies he's projecting. But I will go for a low high pass again. Low shelf. Let's go for a low cut. And I don't want that. I want a steeper cut about there. That'll do. Again, let's do it by ear.
Says that you know you'll always turn.
So the beauty of this FabFilter plugin is you can see what frequencies are being created or recorded at least. So you can gauge your high-pass filter with that, but always use your ears.
Says that you know you'll always turn me on and have you.
So what a high-pass filter is going to be particularly helpful here is actually isolating the vocals from the guitar a little bit more.
This says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette.
Just want a little more top end here, so let's go for a shelf.
This says that you know you'll always turn me on and.
Now, normally with vocals, there's a problem with S's and stuff, so you got to DS stuff, but I'm not hearing that with this mic or with Jesse's voice, which is quite nice, so I'm not afraid of pushing the vocals a bit. Sorry, I'm just watching my other screen to get that out of the way for you. I put in a little bit of low end there just to warm his voice up slightly, and then that high shelf there just for some air, and I'm not too worried about the de-essing problem yet. I may be later.
Says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby.
Now, obviously, the problem with this is it's pulling up the guitar frequencies, which has got some honky mids that I don't like. This will obviously affect his voice.
Says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to.
But I'm not going to play with that too much. Let's add in a compressor. And I'm just going to go for the same setup with the compressors because it works. It's basically my go-to chain. I'll probably do a video about this at some point. And then maybe we can explore some different plugins. So 1176 purple version. First, let's go for that. And a bit more input. Probably stay at 4-1. Let's try 8 though. Slightly slower attack, I think.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway.
All right, so back to Drew's question about gain reduction. There it's going as far as 20 decibels. Obviously, they're huge peaks in relation to the section before, but it's not too quick an attack, so that's not bothering me, but it is doing quite a nice job. Let's bring up the LA2A as well. And again, same original version.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
So just aiming for 2 to 3 dBs on most of it. And obviously with the loud peaks here, the 1176 is doing the heavy lifting. Now I will probably come back and adjust the gain on this because there is a sound to this LA2A that's just slightly gritty that just, I think, makes everything sound great. So I might just mix with the output gain rather than the channel faders because it's only 2 channels. That's quite easy to keep an eye on. Let's listen to how they're sounding together.
Says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette.
So with the vocal channel in, there are some mids that are bothering me.
This says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your...
But do you know what? I might take them out after the compression. Let's try that. Such a good EQ this. Now, I'm not going to put a low-pass, high-pass filter on this one because we've already done that to begin with, so there's no need.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette, and get it in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, so that's more in the guitar mic, which sounds obvious, but I was hearing it in the vocal mic. Let's keep playing with that.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette, and get it in your gait.
All right, so I kind of want the EQ there on the vocal channel, but let's put that as a dynamic. So I've got about a dB of reduction as it is, and then let's do another dB or 2 with the dynamic for when it's prominent. So moving on, I'm going to add some reverb to the vocals. So my go-to is 2 reverbs for the vocals. Now this is where I'm going to cheat because I do have presets for this, but I'll walk through what they are. So we're going to do a short reverb. Vox Rev short. Load my preset, and you can see I've got quite a few. Vox Rev short. Now I'm going to send the effect send to 0 and then mix with the send return, which is the channel fader. I do this with pretty much all my effects. There's very few occasions when I would, only if I'm sending multiple vocals to the same effects bus, would I possibly mess around with, you know, how much I'm sending. Usually that's with backing vocals, but who cares about those? So I've got the AMS Neve, again, a Universal Audio plugin. Now this, I don't know if this is traditionally used for vocals, but I've stumbled across this preset that I've tweaked that sounds pretty good. And then I've put the reverb after. I fiddled around with the FabFilter reverb, and I might get slack for this, but I just don't get on with it. I know it's user error, not product error, but no, it's not for me. So let's dial in a bit of the short reverb. So the short reverb is to thicken out the sound a bit, just to, again, it's more felt than heard, this one, but you would notice if you didn't have it.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette, and giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway.
Now that's a nice amount on its own, but it might be too much, so let's put that in the context of the full mix.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby.
Just there. I like that. Now, let's put the EQ and the reverb the other way round.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby.
Now, again, I've boosted that in the mids, which I actually want to take out. I don't want the reverb amplifying those, and I don't mind the top end being there, so let's take that back up a little bit.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette, and get it in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, next thing is a long reverb. And again, you guessed it, I have a preset just to speed stuff up. I've been doing loads of acoustic mixing recently with piano and vocals. So I created these. So the long reverb is going to be more audible, and obviously it's going to be longer. Maximum send again. EQ on the channel, on the bus send. And I've already got some low mids taken out, which I'm going to leave for this example. And I've got, again, the Universal Audio EMT. So full wet mix there. A longer pre-delay of 50 milliseconds. Let's go for a... I don't need to worry about the high pass. And that's about 2 seconds. Let's dial this one in slowly. But I'm going to mute the short one just so you can hear what we're doing.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way.
What I've forgotten to tell you, though, is my little reverb trick. So I don't always want the long reverb coming forward in the mix because it can get quite washing, sound like you're in a swimming pool, like it did there. So what I do on the bus send is put in a compressor, and I just use the stock Logic compressor. This thing's great. And I'm going to sidechain this to the vocals, and then what this is going to do is push down the reverb while the vocals are delivering, so you can hear all the diction. And then in between the vocal phrases, it's going to lift up. Now, thinking about it, I usually use this technique. I mean, I use this technique all the time on vocals when they're isolated. I don't know how this is going to work with the acoustic guitar bleeding into the vocal mic. It might be a mess, but let's keep having a listen. So I've got a high ratio, so it squashes it pretty hard. Full attack, that needs to be there. Reasonably slow release. And I'm going to exaggerate the threshold so you can hear what it's doing. Let's just isolate that.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette and get it in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
Okay, so you can hear it more prominent when I stop the channel, because obviously the guitar is keeping the compressor going. So this technique isn't actually working too well. Not a problem. I'm going to keep it on, though, because, yeah, let's keep it on.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. Stoned here in your silhouette and get it in your gaze.
And again, let's listen in a mix.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. Stoned here in your silhouette and get it in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, and again, let's go for a parallel send. Again, this is going to work better if it was in isolation, but let's try it. And yes, I have a preset, which is Vox Parallel. And then we'll try some delay as well, I think. But again, this could make the acoustic guitar sound a little messy. So, full send. And I've got the FabFilter Pro C, really squashing the vocal there. Let's listen to this on its own.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette and get it in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
So on the Pro C2, you can EQ it. but I like to use the stock plugins. I just find these so easy. But let's back all that off because I think they were doing a little too much. And there's no real de-essing problem on this track, which is why I've got the 4K there. And I'd often put one in at 8 to 10K. Keep the low pass on.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way.
Okay, so that sounds quite good for a parallel. That's not the vocals on its own, obviously. I want that more squash though. High ratio, that's quite a high threshold, low threshold. Attacks very quick. Let's back that off slightly. Okay, let's blend this signal in.
This is that you know you'll always.
Let's mute these so we can hear it properly.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, now what I'm going to do here, just for a bit of a laugh, is add in, on the parallel compressed chain, a saturator of some kind. Now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to bring up a Tone Empire plugin. And this may cause some ridiculous phasing. It may not. Vocals, let's go, and warmth and body. If you haven't heard of Tone Empire plugins, they are doing some really good sounding plugins. The Loch Ness is a particular favorite. Let's pull that up as well, because that's a fun plugin. The Loch Ness V2. This is my go-to drum bus plugin at the moment. It's got a crust saturation. I guess it's tape saturation, but this sounds great on drums. Really thickens the sound out. But I'm going to get rid of the Pro 2 there and try this one first. Let's demo that. You're off. Hang on. Loch Ness. All right.
This is that you know.
And there's probably a plugin for that, a preset for that. Enhance male vocals. Okay, that's a lot of compression. Let's take that back in the mix. And let's listen to the bus send in isolation.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
I think that might be too much.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby.
So maybe that's a bit too much, but you get the idea for the vocal. I'm just going to ignore that for now. Let's go back to where we were and bring in the black, where is it? The black QV2. And this is a really lovely kind of tube drive saturator plugin.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, so it's subtle, but let's dial that
This
in.
is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to.
All right, let's try that, and then we're going to blend that in with the full vocals.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in.
All right, so about there, I feel like that's just adding a little bit of top end there. As you can see, I had some air in there. It's literally called air. That first 12K, I'm going to take that down. No, about 12K, because if I bring in too much 10, that's going to bring in some sibilance that we don't want. So it's giving it a texture. Now, what I would probably do is, in an ideal world, is actually put that on another parallel bus end. But I'm not going to do that right now because I want to keep moving. So the next thing is the featured FabFilter plugin, the delay. So let's set up another send. Send that to 0. Let's mute these. And I'm going to add in my preset, obviously. I'll talk you through what we've got there, and I'll swap out the delay plugin. So again, EQ, always EQ your effects to clean them up. Delay. Now I usually use, I'm going to leave that in because I might come back to that. But we're going to replace this with the FabFilter Timeless 3. And then sometimes I use, like I said, with the long reverb, a compressor to squash the delay down to then bring this up in the gaps between the vocals. This works really well with isolated vocals. I don't think this is going to work with the guitar. However, we could try as always. And then I usually put in a really long delay, a long reverb on the delay, somewhere about there, to smooth out the delay so it's not as, the repeat transients aren't as harsh. This is a really good way of just softening those out. And again, I've probably EQ'd that. Yes. So let's go back and bring up the Timeless plugin. Timeless 3. They all set to 0. Let's browse the presets. So apparently this update introduces a completely redesigned interface, 5 feedback circuit effects, more filters, improved sound, and up to 16 tap delays, and an updated preset library. Let's try the bright and spicy vocals. And there's some EQ there, interesting. No drive on. Let's listen to how that sounds.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way.
Ooh, I like that. Nice.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. Stoned here in your silhouette and giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. Stoned here in your silhouette and giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked.
I'll tell you what I should have done is gone to Marlon's channel over at White Noise Studios and watched his video, because he put out a video yesterday reviewing and discussing the features of this plugin. Now, I noticed at the top there's a sidechain thing here, so we could sidechain this to the vocals. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick with my technique, which is adding in the compressor after the plugin. I'm going to sidechain that to the vocals. Again, go for a very quick attack. Let's play with the threshold. That's about right. Let's listen though.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
I like that. In isolation on the vocals, that would be brilliant. But I just think it's doing too much with the guitars going on in the background. Let's put it in a mix, because that's what matters the most.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway.
So with delays, I was always taught, because I come from a predominantly live music background. I've been doing live sound, well, really for about 12 years, but certainly with a full-time business for the last 7. And I did studio work before that, but those skills transferred to live really nicely. And there was some quite good money in live before COVID. So that's what I was doing for 5 or 6 years before lockdown. And I was always told with delays, basically bring them into the mix until you can hear them and then back them off slightly. And that's a very good principle, in my opinion, for all effects, at least with vocals, at least with long effects and delays. But obviously this is to taste. Let's bring back so we've got a short reverb there, we've got a long reverb, and we've got a parallel. Let's bring each one of those in individually on the vocals on their own. Obviously there's guitar coming through this mic as well, because both mics were on Jesse at the same time.
This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. This is that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying when I press stop. Let's go back into that and reduce how much feedback there is. I think I can manually do that. Yeah, all right. Ah, that's how you adjust it. Right, gotcha. That makes sense. Cool. I was kind of happy with how that was anyway. Right, welcome guys if you've just joined. So in today's live session we are mixing Jesse Smith, who's a great singer, songwriter, as I'm sure you'll agree hearing this song. It was 2 microphones in the room, which looked like this. So one was in front of the guitar, roughly on the 12th fret, and one was in front of his mouth. I had to get that sideways because of the nature of the cradles with the OC 818s from Austrian Audio. Beautiful sounding microphones. So the problem is with the mix, as you can tell, is that there's vocals and guitars going into both microphones. So I need to keep the EQ to a minimum because of the potential phasing issues, and I can't use so much long reverb and delay as I would like on vocals as I would do in the studio, because that's also affecting the guitar. All right, Jesse Smith, ladies and gentlemen. I think the song's called Monster. I was so lucky to sit in my studio and listen to him playing these songs for the first time and record them, and then he kindly allowed me to mix them live. I'll have to go in and have a think what else I would do to this. The only thing I would probably do is automate the delay, so I'm going to do that as we go. I'm going to press A in Logic, which, no, I'm not. First of all, I'm going to go to the delay channel and press read, so that comes up. Then I'm going to press A, which is my automation, and I'm going to dip that. So I've got it at a bass level of 14.6. So when I need to, I'm going to drop that down. Jesse Smith.
Lost in the woods, I'm Hansel and Gretel, 'cause I never tasted anything sweeter than you. I never wanna get clean again, 'cause I'm drunk on your eyes. I'll be wasted forever. I've never seen beauty so hypnotically blue. There's something wicked about you, baby. The look in your eyes today, it says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. I never thought it was possible that you would leave me there alone in a bedroom like a lost soul doing bus tours in London alone. 6 years, the heat and the passion, thick tears, a whole lot of magic. But I'd rather be broken by you than be fixed on my own. There's something wicked about you, baby. Look in your eyes today. It says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. So far, I'll never love anyone as deep or as raw or as true. There's something wicked about you, baby. The look in your eyes today that says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway. I'm stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. There's something wicked about you, baby. There's something wicked about you, baby. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, automating on the fly. Let's check a few bits. I would never do that. I would definitely do this section by section, but I wanted you guys to hear the whole song. Let me know what you think. I mean, I love listening to Jesse. He's great.
I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby.
So I'm just... that tail's annoying. I'm just going for the delay to be heard more than felt. It just gives that section a little bit of a lift if you hear it here. I would possibly do this with the parallel send as well, but this is getting on, so we need to end this soon. Let's just have a quick listen.
By you than be fixed on my own. There's something wicked about you, baby. Look in your eyes today. It says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze now. I never wanna be anywhere other than here right now. Red wine so anywhere other than here right now. Red wine so far, I'll never love anyone as deep or as raw or as true. There's something wicked about you, baby. The look in your eyes today that says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your wicked way. There's something wicked about you, baby. I'm tied to a railway, stoned here in your silhouette. I'm giddy in your gaze. There's something wicked about you, baby. There's something wicked about you, baby.
All right, that's fine for the delay. I mean, this might be a bit overkill, but it's a very exposed song, so I do want to fill stuff out. Now, a really neat trick with delay is, or any effects in Logic, and I guess other DAWs do it, is if you want to adjust all the delay settings. So once... I can't change the fader here because this automation is going to overwrite the fader settings. But if I want to reduce all the automation at the same time, I can simply take the trim button here and drag them all down like that if it's overkill. So it's dead easy if I think I've overdone that later. Now, I will, at some point before I finish these two videos that this session was for, go through and probably automate the long reverb as well. I think it's a little overbearing sometimes. And I'm going to do that in the same way I've automated the delays, that I want to create the closeness of the performance. So just to give you an idea, let's do that with the which one was the long reverb? That one. Let's press read so that comes up, and A to get the automation. And I'm going to take that all the way down until we get to this chorus here, which is about where I put the delay in. And let's just bring that all the way down and dial it in, just to hear how it affects the closeness of the delivery.
I never want to be anywhere other than lost in the woods. I'm Hansel and Gretel, 'cause I never tasted anything sweeter than you.
So I want a little bit in there, but not as much as later, because I want this to be quite a close performance. So what I'm actually going to do very quickly is duplicate. I think what I can do, there is a way of copying this very quickly, but I'm not going to do that because I can't remember how to do it. But I'm going to do a quick fix like that, which is going to roughly do the same thing. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's bring the delay down for the close parts. So obviously this is just a quick fix for now. Let's just go to where we were before, 24. And let's listen to the contrast coming out of the chorus.
Never thought it was possible that you would leave me there, alone in a bedroom like a
Kind of need the vocals going on. So I'm going to increase it here on those oohs.
In your gaze, there's something wicked about you, baby. Yeah.
There we go. I really want that yeah to come out.
In your gaze, there's something wicked about you, baby. Yeah.
There we go. So that's an opportune moment for the long reverbs and the delay to stick out there. Other than that, I might take this back a little bit in those sections. So I think with an acoustic song like this, you do have a bit more free rein to play with effects. For some people, this might be too much. For some people, it's not enough. I've had people say the same things about my mixes that I've released on songs. One person said the vocals are dry, another person said the vocals are wet, and I'm thinking, right, well, I must be right then, because I'm in the middle. Right, what else do we need to do? I think that's about it. Like I said, I would probably go through with the parallel compression send on the vocals there, but just to fill out the choruses, to make them dynamically bigger. I'm not really one for automating vocals as such. The beauty of using double compression, as I have done, which if you're late joining, watch the playback, because I talk through my double compression technique. The beauty of doing that is you very rarely need to automate vocals. I think perfectly automated, infinitely automated vocals sound a bit weird anyway, so I don't do that. But double compression definitely helps. Now, as we discussed earlier, with the dynamic range and the dynamic contrast in the song from the beginning to the end, double compression can be tricky, because you might have to back off the settings for these high bits here, for these peaks, which then means they won't be as effective through here, or you have to automate them. I'm not going to bother that, simply because I can't be bothered. But I think overall it sounds a bit better. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I'm going to leave that there. This is going to be every Wednesday, this mixing session. Next week, I've got a song from my friend Simon Caviani that I was meant to mix from ages ago. And then I think the week after, I'm going to go back and be doing one of my own songs, which I'm well overdue finishing. So every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. UK time. Tune in. Feel free to ask questions. I am keeping an eye on them. Thank you again to David and White Noise Studios for the super chat donations. That's really kind of you guys. I really appreciate that. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and let's go back here. There we go. I can see you probably. Right. Thank you for watching, guys. Be kind to one another. Stay safe. Happy mixing, and I'll see you all on the next one.